Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston Smith and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for the week of September 13th. Brought to you by WorldwideHippies.com, citizen journalism on the web. I am Winston Smith. Scouting outing, people prefer puppies. P.E. Nolan is here with a report. The doc is in. Mercedes-Benz is suing Greenpeace. Hippie Woman is in the house. Our asshole of the week and more. Our top story. Well, they don't have merit badges for it, but maybe they should. The Boy Scouts of America has a dirty secret. More Boy Scout sex crimes. Yet another charge of sexual abuse against the Boy Scouts of America. Seems that this is not a rare incident. The Great Falls Tribune reported last week that 5 Montana women have sued the Boy Scouts of America for a series of rapes that occurred in 1974. A scoutmaster, they claim, offered private help with merit badge work at a co-ed event, only to use the opportunity to commit six sexual acts. Also last week, the News Tribune of Tacoma, Washington wrote that 2 men have accused the former scout leader of similar molestations. How much molestation, rape, coercion, and assault is going on with the Boy Scouts of America is hard to tell. The Boy Scouts of America claim that it's not their fault that there are pervs under the tent. After all, Boy Scouts of America are local organizations like churches, and any vetting of scout leaders is up to the local community. That's an interesting statement when you consider that on the heels of a 2010 decision against Boy Scouts of America for $18.5 million. Regarding the existence of a secret perversion files the organization was keeping on suspected or reported abusers. Where those files are and what they contained is confidential, apparently, because this was a civil case and the Boy Scouts are protected as a condition of the settlement. This is bullshit, plain and simple, and the Justice Department, along with mainstream media, are at least negligent in not investigating the Boy Scouts of America. But then again, maybe Eric Holder is an Eagle Scout. And here is P.E. Nolan with her report. Some activism history this week, Trish?
Hey, Winston. When robber baron Jay Gould hired thugs to terrorize union organizers during a railroad strike in the 1890s, he boasted, "I can hire half of the working class to kill the other." That kind of thinking led to the Battle of Blair Mountain in West Virginia in 1921, when U.S. bombers were used against striking coal miners. 10 years later, in Harlan County, Kentucky, the owners hired gun thugs to terrorize mining communities in search of union leaders to lock up, beat, or kill. One night in 1931, a gang of bullies arrived at the home of a union man named Sam Reese. When they learned that he was not home, they ransacked the house in front of Florence, his wife, and their 7 children. Later, Florence sat down and wrote, "Which side are you on?" The song quickly became a union anthem, and Pete Seeger made it famous for a lot of reasons. Florence was an ordinary woman in extraordinary circumstances. She expressed herself in the best way she knew how. Looking across America today, we see the class war still raging. The owners still have gangs of thugs, but they are in Congress, on the Supreme Court, on TV and radio, and in state and local government across the land. We the people must make sure they remember our side. Thanks, Winston.
Thanks, Trisha. Now, for some real teaching without a Pell Grant, here's the doc.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, thanks, Winston. Yo, Bugs, glad you asked. Hey, hippies. I don't know about all of you, but I did my level best to ignore all the anniversarial memorial hoopla over the weekend, as well as the attendant and predictable maelstrom of prefabricated jingoistic outrage and fury. Really did. But you couldn't change the channels fast enough. Out of nowhere, bam, there it was. It was like picking a scab or unhealed stitches. If by endlessly probing the wound we were draining off the poison or resetting the break, it might be different. If it stirred us to examine what we, the US of A, had done to bring on such an attack, it might be different. If we took from it the obvious lessons about neocolonialism and neo-imperialistic overreach, we might be forgiven for the faux patriotic trivialization, if not for the pathetic commercialization of the whole event. Any anniversary, whichever number, is a pseudo-event, existing only to provide the media with fodder. If you did watch, did you count the commercials? The owners will continue to play this like a lost Elvis concert on a PBS fundraiser forever and ever and ever. Meanwhile, we, the US of A, unrepentant, continue down the same bloody imperialistic path that brought us where we are in the first place. Remind me again, why are we bombing the shit out of brown people on the whole other side of the world who haven't done us any harm and had nothing at all to do with the offense for which we are allegedly still punishing them? For perspective, proportionally, there are as many Panamanians, actually there are more Panamanians, whose relatives and loved ones were killed by the U.S. invasion to overthrow Noriega than there are Americans who suffered that kind of a loss on 9/11. And don't talk about the Iraqis. More than 1 million of them have died directly in consequence of the illegal, unjust, unjustified, unjustifiable, immoral, criminal, murderous U.S. invasion of their country. It's between 4 and 5% of the whole population killed in a country which had nothing at all to do with the attack that was the casus belli. To kill that proportion of U.S. citizens, 15 million would have to die. There's a class of epistemic events properly called bullshit. And this is a prime example of the class. I had to turn my back on all the creepy, pious, solemn, empty moralizing and sermonizing and all that it accompanied and that it implied. No mas, no mas. The whole repetitive spectacle from the Memorial Plaza and the construction thereof to the endless repetitions of that tragic footage to the ceremonies marking remembrances of the perished. And I grieve for them too. To me it all reeked of banal, mawkish, maudlin self-absorption, at which it must be said we Americans probably are still number one. Thanks for your attention, hippies. See you at the beach. Back to you in Hippie Central, Winston.
Thanks, Doc. Your timely insights and observations are as accurate and focused as the Hubble telescope with glasses.
Worldwide Hippies needs your help. Site creators are searching for volunteer correspondents from around the world to check in weekly and report the news and views in your country. Contact the site creator if you're interested. We need your help to make Worldwide Hippies truly worldwide.
From SeattleEPI.com, Mercedes-Benz is suing Greenpeace on the grounds that a logo commonly associated with the International Peace Organization, the iconic peace symbol, bears almost an identical resemblance to Mercedes-Benz classic hood ornament. A spokesman for the automaker stated that Greenpeace brand is associated with hippies, Peace Corps volunteers, and unemployed graduate students majoring in French literature. Hardly the type of people Mercedes wants purchasing their line of status symbol luxury cars. This creates enormous brand confusion in the minds of the target market of highly affluent male corporate executives engaged in tawdry affairs with their secretaries, assistants, prostitutes, and small furry animals. And now, for something slightly relevant, here's Hippie.
Hi there, Winston. Hey, look. It's our old pal Gumby. Hi, Gumby. What you been up to this week? Anything new? Robbing a convenience store. A man in a bulky green Gumby costume entered a San Diego 7-Eleven store and attempted to rob it. When the clerk didn't take him seriously, he threatened to produce a gun. He fumbled with his costume and produced nothing but 26 cents, which fell to the ground. Gumby and his accomplice sped off in a silver minivan and have not been heard from since. Police are still looking for Gumby. Pokey has been questioned and he has a solid alibi. According to Reuters, studies have shown that kids living with a smoker had a 37% higher risk of developing middle ear disease, infections, and hearing issues. A 62% higher risk if the smoker was their mother. When mothers smoked, kids were also 86% more likely to get a surgery for a middle ear condition and contract recurrent ear infections than if no smokers were in the house. Parent smoking has also been linked to asthma and allergy-related problems in kids. Now, just to clarify, these studies were conducted among household smokers that smoked tobacco. Nothing else. Just to clarify. If you've seen Gumby, please report it to your local authorities. Or not, because he might just be a weirdo in a costume. Back to you, Winston.
Thank you, Hippie Woman. And you can see P.E. Nolan, the Doc, and Hippie Woman each week here on Hippie TV News and Stuff. Oh, I hear it's time for our Asshole of the Week. And this week it goes to Elizabeth Escalona from Dallas, Texas, for gluing her 2-year-old daughter's hands to a wall. The Dallas mother was arrested for unmercifully beating her 2-year-old daughter for soiling her pants, leaving the tot in critical condition, police say. Elizabeth Escalona, 22, dragged her daughter, Jocelyn, by her feet across the apartment, glued her hands, and stuck them to a wall until they bled. That was what WFAA-TV was reporting. She then beat the little girl with a shoe and a belt, kicked her, and pounded her in the stomach with a jug of milk. Escalona then called her mother in hysterics and said something was wrong with Jocelyn. The Associated Press reported when her mother arrived, the tot was unconscious. Escalona's mother rushed to the girl, took her to the nearby hospital, where she's now in critical condition with broken bones and head injuries. We don't know how it happened, but she's just covered in bruises, Jocelyn Aunt said. Escalona is being held on $500,000 bond. Jocelyn and her 3 siblings were taken into protective custody. The case disgusted a Dallas police officer, as well as us here at Worldwide Hippies. This is beyond abuse, said Brenda Nichols. This is torture, she said. Well, we agree, and that is why you, Elizabeth Escalona, are Worldwide Hippie Asshole of the Week. And that's it for this week. Please share our newscast with others and visit worldwidehippies.com every day for original articles and reporting from citizen journalists and news updated every 2 hours. And make a donation to Worldwide Hippies or visit our store, and you will be helping Worldwide Hippies to keep up the howl for peace and justice. And we will see you here next month.